So before we get into the video, I want to talk about some godly stuff, just in case, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably aren't going to watch this video. So, if anybody leaves or anybody watches it for like at least like a minute or two, I want somebody to actually like leave this with some, reassurance or some godly knowledge, some advice, I guess. Today, earlier after seeing my friend, my boy Rooney, after a while, he asked me a question. He asked me, did I think that me and my ex were right person, wrong time? Which is funny that he asked that because a couple of days or like a day before, my TV wasn't working for a reason, and I was kind of just left to sit there and kind of deal with my thoughts, every now and then. When I wasn't sitting there on, applying to jobs or watching anime, I was sat to my, I was just left to my own devices just to sit there and just think on my own thoughts. And my ex came across my mind a couple of times, even before yesterday. She was still kind of invading my mind a bit, right? But after he asked me that, I was kind of just left in this state of just thinking. Even as we were sitting there playing the game, talking, I was just still thinking about an answer to that question, especially when, my friends went off to do their own things. I just sat there and thought about it harder. And the conclusion I came to is that as much as I would like it to be right person, wrong time, because then, possibly in the future, God could have me and her meet up, reconnect or whatever. It was most likely wrong person, right time, because she helped me become a lot less vulgar, a lot less like my old self, and kind of get closer to Christ and stop on my the things I was saying, because the things I was saying, I was always in my mind, it was just a simple joke, and it's not like I was sitting there representing Christ, in my mind at least. I was just sitting there just being myself, just sitting there joking, not taking it much seriously. But after spending enough time with her, realizing, she kind of didn't really like the jokes, it helped me stop saying them. I still struggled every now and then a bit to not, let out some something crazy to say because of me getting angry, somebody testing me. But overall, she did bring me down, and ever since she left, I've been getting better at it. At least I would like to think so. But at the same time, she also wasn't really a believer. And she had her own issues to deal with that, I tried to help with. I guess what I want to say is, if you're sitting there stressing out about that question, what I recommend is that even though it's pretty difficult, try not to stress out about it. Only really time and God himself will tell. If they were the right person, they'll probably show back up in your life again. Probably contact you or something. If not, probably won't meet again. It really depends on what God wills, to be honest. But even if they do appear again, you still have to look at their character, see if they change for the better, or whatever. But yeah, she's probably always gonna be on my heart, because that's just the type of guy I am. Just too much of a lover boy. I wish I just didn't say some of the things I did say, bro, because I was sitting there thinking of these things as jokes whole time. She probably actually took that stuff to heart, bro, and I truly do regret it. So my TV wasn't working, and I was bored, right? And so I just started thinking, right? And while I was thinking, I was cooking up some straight hot fire, bro. Look, hear me out. Look, this is gonna be a fan story. Watch, look. So, right, my OC, right? I'm not saying that. I can't say it. I can't. Alright, look. My OC, right? We're gonna call him Shmaruto, right? Shmaruto, right? You know, he hears that his mentor Naoya died, but Naoya the saint, bro. You know, he died trying to protect the kids from Maki, right? But the plot was too strong. Alright, so instead of Naoya coming back, you know, it's actually my OC trying to spin back on Maki for Naoya. But of course my OC loses because, you know, she's the plot armor demon, bro. She's the plot armor demon. She can't be beat, bro. She's the plot armor demon, bro. She can't die, right? So look, after that, you know, I actually survived. You know, I actually managed to get away. But I see and hear that, you know, Curse Naoya has came back, right? So I try to join in the battle just to lose again, you know, to the plot armor demon, and watch my mentor get killed for the second time. Well, for the first time, because the first time I wasn't actually there to see him get killed. I just heard that he died. But this time I actually watched him get killed, you know. And this time I also get killed, you know, right afterwards, because I'm too weak to move, bro. And she already let me get away once, so she's not gonna spare me again, right? You know. Plus she got 2 other guys there, you know. So as I'm dying, right, I'm remembering and thinking and thinking of hypergamy, bro. I'm remembering hypergamy, bro. I'm remembering the big nose people pushing hypergamy, you know, and society falling victim to it. You know, I'm remembering lookism. I'm remembering heightism. I'm remembering all of it, you know. And you know, I just feel so much hatred, you know, more hatred than anybody ever could. More hatred than humanly possible, to the point that I revive as someone, you know, who rivals Sukuna in power, you know. I revive as a curse, you know, who rivals Sukuna in power off of my hatred alone, right? And I come back and I slime Maki this time. I became so strong that I even overcame the plot demon. All right, and but that wasn't enough. You know, I realized that I never wanted, you know, women to suffer. You know, I never wanted Maki to die. I just wanted to be treated as a human. You know, and I wanted my mentor to survive. You know. I wanted to protect the kids, so I run all the way. So I develop a technique to turn back time, and I rule over society as like and from the shadows, kind of like Obito ruled over the Akatsuki, right? And you know, I push society to reject heightism and lookism. You know, actually search for things on the inside, you know, actually search for genuine good qualities in people, you know. I push society to treat people who don't look as good as others equally. I push equality for all races, you know, everybody getting treated equally, since we're all human at the end of the day, you know. I push the word, you know, you know. I don't think my TV liked that. My TV didn't like me defying hypergamy. I completely lost my train of thought. My TV just jump scared the crap out of me, bro. I almost threw my controller at it. I just jumped back and cocked my fist back. I was waiting for like some freaking ghost to try and jump at me, bro. I was gonna try to punch a ghost. I teach men to hold back and not be so desperate for women, because that just inflates their ego and makes them go and shoot up, you know. But I don't teach men to also shoot up, because that would just be reversing hypergamy, and I don't want that. I want to get rid of hypergamy as a concept. It needs to be gone completely. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Hypergamy, right? Yeah. I ruled over, you know, as like like Obito, you know, and I pushed the agenda to actually treat people as humans, despite how they look. You know, even if you aren't attracted to them, still treat them as humans. You know, I pushed the agenda to look for people's actual traits from the inside. You know, I pushed the agenda for women to actually like all kinds of men rather than just the taller ones. You know, I pushed the agenda for men and women to both stop being whores. I pushed the agenda for them to actually stay with one partner instead of sitting there trying to sleep around, you know. And I do it by, and once I see that society is actually, you know, becoming better, and oh yeah, I also get rid of the big nose people. Yeah, that's just a side note. But once that's done, you know, and I realize that society's moving on for the better, and growing for the better, you know, I reveal myself as a villain, and try to get taken out by a strong warrior, kind of like that one guy from Yu Yu Hakusho. And then I just accept death, you know, after actually pushing someone with enough potential to actually unlock said potential and finally end me. Yeah. Oh yeah, I also erased Gojo from existence because I hate him. But besides that, you know, everything's just cool. Everybody else is there, but like they're like living a happier life, you know. No more hypergamy. The world is fixed. The big nose people are no longer there, you know. Everybody's living and praying to Christ, you know. Just a beautiful world, you know, a true happy ending. I think I just freestyled the best piece of fiction, better than JJK itself, you know. Even though JJK is pretty mid, you know. Even Maki is there, you know. She's with Yuta still. Even Suka is no longer evil, you know. And I was kidding about killing Gojo. He's actually there too, but he's just like no longer such an upstart prick. And Toji, he no longer kills people. He's actually living a happy life with his wife, you know. Yeah, man. And you know, my character, you know, he gets reborn as a guy with like a 6 foot a 6 foot woman while being a short guy, you know, who obsesses over him, you know, to the point that most people would probably call the police, but he's actually with that freaky stuff, so he just loves her even more because of it, you know. Now he just spends the rest of his days I don't even know what career to give this guy. His friend, making YouTube videos, or being a freaking NASA scientist, and holy freaking moly, jeez, and spending time with his friends, you know, hanging out with them, and spending, you know, his other free time with his girl, you know, being cuddled up under her and watching Naruto together and just random animes, and cooking and cleaning with each other, you know, helping her out, you know, where he can, you know, and her helping him out where she can, you know, and actually treating each other like humans and actually being a partnership rather than having one person do the entire thing. Yeah. If you couldn't tell, I've been just saying adding more details to this freaking hypergamy story to try and get this to 10 minutes. I'm not even getting paid yet. I don't know why I'm trying to stretch this out to 10 minutes. I don't why did YouTubers always try to stretch out their videos to 10 minutes? I never understood that. I probably never will. Well, I probably will once I actually start getting paid. I don't know. Will I even get paid, bro? Oh my god, bro, I want to eat. Hungry, bro. I ain't eat. Oh my god. I feel sick, bro. I think I need to go to bed, bro. I barely been getting freaking sleep, bro. I know every time I see people ship Naruto and Sasuke, sometimes my body has an involuntary like tweak out. Like I can feel the hatred like trying to escape my body. Like I'm struggling to not tell them to end themselves or threaten them or wish the worst on them or hope that they're like somebody just does something really bad to them, you know. Stop pushing your homosexual incest onto my peak, you retarded Floyd, and you retarded ooh bro. What's another word for those type of people? I mean, I guess I can just call them retards, bro, because it's obviously a mental illness anyways, bro.